This is a memory palace for the Constitution of the United States of America. It is set up to allow you to recall and quote any portion of the Constitution by article, section, and subsection. Let me take you on a tour and show you how this works. Each of these buildings is designed to hold a different portion of the Constitution. On top of each building is a glowing circle called an instructor spot. Each instructor spot provides information about what is in the room below. So this first one is for the preamble. We then have rooms for the 7 articles, followed by the conclusion, signature block, and letters of transmittal. On the other side of the divide, we have the amendments. In this room off to the side, we find the preamble to the Bill of Rights, then pedestals for the first 2 amendments which still have not been ratified. Following this, we have a room in which we find the first 10 amendments, which constitute the Bill of Rights. Outside of the room are the remaining amendments, all the way up to 27. To use this memory palace, we want to begin by creating mnemonics for each of the major sections of the Constitution. So, for example, starting with the preamble, we might use an image of an ambulance to remember this space is set up for the preamble. I open up the menu, search for a model, and add it in. The similarity in sound helps me remember that this is where we keep the preamble, but you can choose any mnemonic that works for you. Once we have placed a mnemonic on the pedestal, the text on the instructor spot disappears. We can call it back up by pointing at the mnemonic. We can also see that placing a mnemonic on the pedestal above the room has now unlocked all the instructor spots below. These contain the actual text of the preamble, line by line. We continue onwards, adding mnemonics for all the other major sections. We have the ambulance for the preamble. We have a pen and scroll for Article 1, which is about the legislative branch. A guillotine is my mnemonic for Article 2 on the executive branch. A gavel marks Article 3 on the judiciary branch of government. I'm from Maryland, which is famous for its crabs, so a crab marks Article 4 on states' relations. A transformer marks Article 5 for the mode of amendment. A chest of gold represents Article 6, prior debts, national supremacy, and oaths. And a rat is my mnemonic for Article 7 on ratification. Once we have our mnemonics in place, we can create a story to connect them together to remember the high-level structure of the Constitution. An ambulance speeds along to help someone who has accidentally cut himself with a pen while writing. The cut is so severe the paramedics deem the patient is beyond care, so they decide to execute him. He appeals to the law and takes the matter to court. The judge is a crabby old man who rules that he can stay alive. The judge also rules that the ambulance and human team should be replaced by a transformer, which costs a huge amount of money, so much so it puts the city in debt. But the transformer not only serves as the city ambulance and paramedic team, but also proves very effective at getting rid of the city's rats. In just a few minutes, we can get a strong sense of the structure and relative scale of each portion of the Constitution. Once we have finished creating mnemonics for the main structural pieces, we can start learning the details of each section using exactly the same process. We create mnemonics, adding images onto each pedestal. We recommend using 1 image per pedestal, but you can use as many as you need. Once you have your mnemonics in place, you could create a story to connect them together. However, for the actual text of the Constitution, this is probably not necessary. In a memory palace, a story adds logic and sense to otherwise random mnemonic objects. As there is already a logic and sense to the text of the Constitution, you can simply use your mnemonics as hooks to remember this text and practice recalling the lines of the Constitution until you can do so fluidly. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. In order to recall the text of the Constitution by section and subsection number, simply think to where each mnemonic is. For example, If we wanted to cite Article 2, Section 2, Subsection 3, we would go to the room set up for the second article, in this case, beneath the guillotine. We would then go to the second platform, on which we find 3 pedestals. Subsection 3 will be on the third pedestal. The numerical position of each line is built into the structure of the space itself. If you would like to learn more about memory palaces and how to build them, please see our online course in memory. This memory palace for the Constitution is available to download and use for free from Munx VR's store. Munx VR is our software specifically designed for building memory palaces in 3D and virtual reality. Please see the description below for more information.